Greetings from Cobweb Cottage. Since our last video, the orange colors of October have faded, and November's rustic hues linger throughout the woodlands of the Sleepy Hollow countryside.
There's still one brighter spot taking its time. The old Japanese maple tree that turns a brilliant red every Halloween, just like clockwork. Its splendor blankets the cottage, which it has watched over for nearly a century. The very sunlight filtering through the leaves creates a crimson sunset as the critters gather the last provisions of autumn's harvest.
The end of fall always feels like a slow and somber farewell. The days are growing darker by the minute, and it's a little bit harder to find the inner light. A minor car accident made us come to a crashing stop after all the fall projects we'd worked so hard on. We were physically fine, but it made us realize we needed to take a step back and take care of ourselves. While the wind sweeps autumn away, we seek charming moments hidden in the moody, rainy afternoons by candlelight.
We find ourselves baking a special pie. It has a buttery crust that we fill with mud pie batter. The mud pie comes from a Swedish recipe book and are perfect for days that grow short. On days when you need a little boost with your coffee. We decorate it with leaves, not real ones of course, to commemorate the wonderful fall we had. You can find the recipe on our blog, it'scharminglife.com. And what's even better, if you become a Fika friend on Patreon and get a printable vintage recipe card.
There's something powerful in throwing a celebration for practically anything, even if just as an excuse to say farewell to fall. The mud cake pie turned out to be a lovely centerpiece for our picnic under the old oak tree. The tea we are drinking is called Sweater Weather, which happens to be one of our favorite fall teas, and we even wrote a poem about it.
Oh crisp autumn weather, my kettle is calling. It's calling your name when the leaves start falling. Please do come in, don't just stand outside my door. Tea and laughter have always room for one more.
Watching the last leaves fall in the graveyard behind the cottage makes us imagine what they might say to each other. It reminds us of Chapter 8 of Felix Salteen's Bambi, which we shall read for you right now.
The leaves were falling from the great oak at the meadow's edge. They were falling from all the trees. One branch of the oak reached high above the others and stretched far out over the meadow. 2 leaves clung to its very tip. "It isn't the way it used to be," said one leaf to the other.
"No," the other leaf answered. "So many of us have fallen off tonight. We're almost the only ones left on our branch."
"You never know what's going to go next," said the first leaf. "Even when it was warm and the sun shone, a storm or a cloudburst would come sometimes, and many leaves were torn off, though they were still young. You never know who's going to go next."
"The sun seldom shines now," sighed the second leaf. "And when it does, it gives no warmth. We must have warmth again."
"Can it be true?" said the first leaf. "Can it really be true that others come to take our place when we're gone? And after them still others, and more and more?"
"It really is true," whispered the second leaf. "We can't even begin to imagine it. It's beyond our powers."
"It makes me very sad," added the first leaf. They were silent a while. Then the first leaf said quietly to himself, "Why must we fall?"
The second leaf asked, "What happens when we have fallen?"
"We sink down."
"What is it under us?"
The first leaf answered, "I don't know. Some say one thing, some another, but nobody knows."
The second leaf asked, "Do we feel anything? Do we know anything about ourselves when we're down there?"
The first leaf answered, "Who knows? Not one of all those down there has ever come back to tell us about it." They were silent again. Then the first leaf said, tenderly to the other, "Don't worry so much about it. You're trembling."
"That's nothing," the second leaf answered. "I tremble at the least thing now. I don't feel so sure of my hold as I used to."
"Let's not talk any more about such things," said the first leaf.
The other replied, "No, we'll let be. But what else should we talk about?" She was silent, but went on after a little while. "Which of us will go first?"
"There's still plenty of time to worry about that," the other leaf assured her. "Let's remember how beautiful it was. How wonderful when the sun came out and shone so warmly that we thought we'd burst with life. Do you remember? And the morning dew and the mild and splendid nights."
"Now the nights are dreadful," the second leaf complained, "and there is no end to them."
"We shouldn't complain," said the first leaf gently. "We have outlived many, many others."
"Have I changed much?" asked the second leaf shyly but determinedly.
"Not in the least," the first leaf assured her. "You only think so because I got to be so yellow and ugly. But it's different in your case."
"You're fooling me," the second leaf said.
"No, really," the first leaf exclaimed eagerly. "Believe me, you're as lovely as the day you were born. Here and there may be a little yellow spot, but it's hardly noticeable, and only makes you more beautiful, believe me."
"Thanks," whispered the second leaf, quite touched. "I don't believe you. Not altogether. But I thank you, because you're so kind. You've always been so kind to me. I'm just beginning to understand how kind you are."
"Hush," said the other leaf, and kept silent himself, for he was too troubled to talk any more. Then they were both silent. Hours passed. A moist wind blew, cold and hostile, through the treetops.
"Now," said the second leaf. Then her voice broke off. She was torn from her place and spun down. Winter had come.
And indeed, winter had come to Cobweb Cottage, with its frosty veil and snow flurries. All that is left now of fall is between the pages of an old book in the woodland library. As the holiday season approaches, small businesses like myself are so grateful for supportive people like you. Small businesses adds a value and personal touch that feels great to receive. It's a handmade product drizzled with the love and care it was made with. I always feel happy wrapping my orders and personalizing them to make it feel more than just a purchase.
We wanted to take a moment to say how much we truly appreciate all the support we've received this charming autumn. We hope this video greeting finds you feeling safe and loved. Know that there is no one else as special as you. Bye for now.